At some point doing online multiplayer in Pokemon, you've probably thought, man, that Pokemon is way stronger than mine. If you have ever thought that, and you want to know how to make your Pokemon stronger, then you are in the right place. So you've seen a tutorial on how to use rental teams, and after using them a lot, you've decided that you want to make some competitive Pokemon of your own. Today, I am going to show you how to do that. To start with, go to this site, Pokemon Showdown, and go to the team builder. As you can see, I already have a lot of teams in here, but for now they really don't matter. Click New Team and Add Pokemon. Then, just enter in the Pokemon you want to make competitive. Right now, we're just figuring out what teams we want for this, and that's really the best thing you can use Showdown for at this point. Anyway, we're going to use a Ludicolo, so that is what I'm going to get. If you don't know what you want to do with a Pokemon, the easiest thing to do is just go to Smogondex. From there, you can see how the Pokemon is usually used in competitive. Smogondex is telling me that Ludicolo generally has the Swift Swim ability, and the moveset you can see on screen. So, that's what we'll do. After you enter in the moveset, Showdown will automatically guess what it thinks is the EV spread you want, so the easiest thing to do is just click that button. Once you know what build you want the Pokemon to have, you need to get that Pokemon in the game, and then just get it to level 100. The easiest way to do that is with raid battles. Just Google a tutorial on the best way to grind. After getting to level 100, you need battle points. The easiest way to do this is Isle of Armor restricted sparring if you have the DLC, but A, that doesn't give you the judge function, and B, you might not have the DLC. Instead, do stuff in the battle tower. I recommend that you go to this guy over here. He'll give you a team that you can rent. The easiest one to use, in my opinion, is the Rain team. You just need to use Pelipper to set up Rain, and then you'll just sweep with other Pokemon. When you get high enough in the battle tower, you'll get to see the IVs of a Pokemon, and after you get access to that, if you have the DLC, you should use Restricted Sparring, because it gives you way more battle points. Once you have enough battle points for it, you need battle caps. These are why you need to get to level 100. They cost 25 BP each, plus in the battle tower you get them in certain tiers. Also, if you have 3, you can take them to the DLC Cramomatic in addition to one other item, in the correct order, that's very important, and swap them for a gold battle cap, and that can help all the stats rather than just one. Once you have enough battle points, walk over to this guy here who will tell you that he can do hyper training for your Pokemon. Give him battle caps and have him hype up all the Pokemon stats. If you want it to be slow, you don't need to hype up speed, and if you want it to be a physical attacker, you don't need to hype up special attack, or vice versa. But since I'm using a gold battle cap, I'm gonna just type up all the stats of this Ludicolo. Now that we've gotten the IVs done, the next step is to EV train it. There are a few ways to do this. If you have the DLC, the easiest way is to just go to this vending machine here and spend a lot of money on buying the vitamins you need. 26 vitamins gives 252 EVs in a single stat, and for right now, really that's all you need. However, if you don't have DLC, that's obviously a no-go. If that is the case for you, you have a few options. The slowest, most boring option is to battle Pokemon for EVs. Don't do that. It takes like a month and is incredibly boring. The next way is to spend even more time grinding BP at the tower to buy vitamins from this lady in the Hammerlock Pokemon Center. I don't really recommend you do this either, but it's fine, certainly better than just battling Pokemon. The way I recommend you do it is Pokejobs. Spend just a little while in the battle tower to get a Macho Brace from this lady, give it to your Pokemon, go to the Rotom PC, select Check Pokejobs, go down to the bottom of the list where there are ones listed as being from Hammerlock University, and select them. I EV trained for special attack using the vitamins, so I'll use this to EV for speed. Since I'm EVing for speed, I'll select Speed, Seminar, and Session. Obviously, you'd select whichever one you're EVing for. I'll select the Ludicolo from the box because for some reason you can't do it from the party, don't ask me why, and then I will select the time frame of whole day. Once the Pokemon is in the job, we need to do the only part that maybe sort of qualifies as cheating. Go out to the wild area, throw a wishing piece into a raid den, select Invite Others, and go to the home menu of the Switch. After that, go to System Settings, change the time and date, and set it forward a day. Go back into the game, grab the Pokemon from the Pokejob, and rinse and repeat until you have 252 EVs in every stat you want to. You can also do this for the last 4 EVs as well, though at that point it is probably easier to just use vitamins. Next we need to give it the right ability, which is by far the simplest part, unless you need the Pokemon to have its hidden ability, which we do not. Just spend 50 battle points on an ability capsule, or take 3 rare candies and 1 other item to the Cram-O-Matic in the DLC. Just use the ability capsule on it, and then you have the ability you want. It's a lot more complicated if you want hidden abilities, but I won't go into that here. The final step is to change the Pokemon's nature using mints. This step isn't that important, for some reason costs more BP than a bottle cap, but whatever. We want our Ludicolo to have a modest nature, so we go over to this person in the battle tower and pay way too much for a modest mint to give it such. There's no other way to do this, unfortunately, unless you want to try and breed, which takes about as long as it would to just get the BP needed. You all know the ways to get BP at this point, so just do that. Thanks for watching, please subscribe, goodbye.